We can still be grateful to God for His love and grace, but we can't be content with the disorder of our human society. For Christians, particularly those of us from a tradition with a strong doctrine of depravity, nothing I've said so far is surprising. Yes, the world has fallen. Sin reigns. People are awful. None of this is new. Ever since the fall, life has been corrupted by sin. But while this is all true, is it possible we've made that an excuse for not rooting out the particular problems of our times? There are specific, deeply embedded ways that sin manifests in our society today, as we shall soon see. Identifying the specific sins of a society has long been the way the Church has prophetically challenged culture, from Paul's critique of worshiping an unknown God, to Augustine's criticisms of luxury in Rome, to the Reformation. And confronting these evils will require more, but not less, than opting out of sin individually. Christians have an obligation to promote a human culture, one that reflects the goodness of creation, the uniqueness of human persons as image-bearers, and Christ's love. But this book is not a renewed call to the front lines of the culture war. I won't be arguing that we need God in America again, or that everything is going to hell because we took prayer out of schools. In fact, if everyone in America started attending church, I doubt that any of the major issues facing our society would be resolved. We'd probably find ourselves just as unwell and just as burned out. The only real difference is that we'd have an evangelical spin to our counseling and our programs of self-improvement. For, you see, Christians in America are carriers of contemporary disease too. Like the rest of Western society, the Church in the West tends to be good at helping people cope with modern life, but not at undoing the disorder of modern life. Too often the Church's responses to deep societal ills has been, "Go in peace, be warmed and filled." We offer spiritual self-improvement, prayer, counseling, medication, exercise, discipline, wealth, government aid, charity, education, all of it a Band-Aid, but we leave the disease untouched, or perhaps muted, anesthetized. To the young man struggling with addictions to porn, we offer a thin image of the gospel, self-discipline, and grace, hopefully, but the systemic objectification of bodies, the cultural glorification of sex and romance as a means of existential justification, and the anxieties and inadequacies that often drive porn use go largely unaddressed and even unacknowledged. We just accept as a fact of life that our world is inhuman and that the human body will be objectified to sell products. We try to teach our young people to cope, and then we lament when they fail. I am my own, and I belong to myself. These ills are grounded in a particular understanding of what it means to be human. We are each our own. We belong to ourselves. From the early political liberalism of the 17th century, with its language of individual liberties and rights, over time Westerners began to think of themselves as naturally sovereign. The modern political idea that we are owners of ourselves has widened to encompass all of aspects of existence. The sovereign man who is only like himself, whom Nietzsche had imagined, has now become the norm. From this idea flows the belief in the virtue of freedom as limitlessness. To be your own and belong to yourself means that the most fundamental truth about existence is that you are responsible for your existence and everything it entails. I am responsible for living a life of purpose, of defining my identity, of interpreting meaningful events, of choosing my values, and electing where I belong. If I belong to myself, then I am the only one who can set limits on who I am or what I can do. No one else has the right to define me, to choose my journey in life, or to assure me that I am okay. I belong to myself. But the freedom of sovereign individualism comes at a great price. Once I am liberated from all social, moral, natural, and religious values, I become responsible for the meaning of my own life. With no God to judge or justify me, I have to be my own judge and